What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Chrissy. I'm back with another video, and today, you guys, come on in, take a seat. I don't know if you guys are playing me on your car, in the living room, whatever, but we're going to get into a very important topic. Is Triple H racist? Hey, is WWE racist? Are the people that's running the ship racist? And I'm bringing this up because I saw an interesting article. I guess the Dudleys was on Maven's podcast, and Devon Dudley just was out with it. He said he experienced racism when he was in WWE from Jim Ross. So I'm going to put this up on the screen so you guys can see it. We can read it together. And I quote, "No, I didn't experience it when we were together, because when we got together, we were in ECW and in ECW. I think that's a typo. I did not experience it. I experienced it in WWE. You know, I experienced it with certain top officials who I don't really want to name. I don't wear a 10-gallon hat or anything." Maven says, "Go Sooners." So he says, when a person comes up to you and tells you that they don't like you because of the color of your skin, and you're sitting there going, wow, really? We're in 99, 2000, and you're still coming to me saying crap like this? So there were certain people in that organization at that time who felt that I should not have said anything. People who had the power to basically bury me if need be, just because I might have stood up for what I felt was right. Then it says, Via Maven asked the Dudley boys the honest questions after retirement. So, yeah, I really wanted to touch on this topic. I would have never thought it would come from Jim Ross. But if you look at the landscape of what WWE has always been, we have this, narrative of basically, when you're black, you're just basically supposed to shut up and be thankful for the opportunity. That is the narrative that goes on in WWE and possibly even in, other places of employment. Basically, it's like we are supposed to be happy to be even given this opportunity, right? But when you see people that was like your Shawn Michaels, your Randy Ortons, your Hulk Hogan's especially, all of these people who were nuisance to Vince, these people who were disrespectful, they're doing whatever they want to do, and there's kind of really not no consequences really for them. So when you kind of look at a black talent, you've never really heard anything on that scale of a black wrestler being difficult, a black wrestler showing up, to work high on drugs and tell events to piss off or whatever, just all of these things that is not really rare from black talent. And I do feel like if Devon Dudley did experience something like that, my heart goes out to him, because that's the worst. I mean, I even feel like as a black woman doing wrestling content, I always feel like, you could be looked at as if you don't know what you're talking about. But I've been watching WWE since 1998. It is 2025. So I would think I have a good knowledge on what I'm speaking about. But when you see things like this, it kind of makes you question today. Is Triple H racist? You see a lot of people say he don't like black people. He did that nonsense with Booker T. He was doing the monkey walk with Mark Henry. And it's more like, I'm going to be very honest here. And personally, I don't think Triple H is racist. I really don't. I think he does not really know what to do with black talent. I think there's a difference in not knowing really what to do with them versus being racist. I don't really think Hunter is racist. I really don't think that at all. But I do feel like he doesn't know what to do with the black talent that he has. When you have the New Day, who had like one of the hottest heel turns ever. I mean, their heel turn was fucking immaculate. And then nothing happened. Nothing happened after that. A lot of people bring up, Carmelo Hayes, Ilya fresh coming off of injury, and he got the US title. And Melo now, he in a feud with the Miz. So, Montez Ford, another one, the Street Profits. Hunter to me strikes me as a person where he wouldn't even be around black people. I'm just being honest. He wouldn't have a need to. Think he's from Greenwich, Connecticut, if I'm not mistaken. Shawn Michaels come off more like but he could blend in. Shawn Michaels really comes off like he talks our kind of talk. Like Shawn Michaels don't come off like he don't know what to do with black talent. Shawn Michaels clearly can book black talent. He understands it very well. That's why Trick Williams is coming off like the star that he is, because Shawn Michaels is really building Trick. And when you look at Carmelo Hayes, Carmelo stopped being built when he left NXT. Even with your R-Truth, how Triple H did R-Truth and then tried to say, oh, it was a work, or it was this, or it was that, when it really wasn't. You don't know what to do with black talent. But when you have your Seth Rollins and your Drew McIntyres, your CM Punks, your Rhea Ripley's, look at Bianca Belair, look at versus Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is at the absolute top of the women's division, okay? And she's really, like, just in general, one of the most popular WWE superstars. Don't even have to be male or female, just in general. She is the most over talent in WWE right now. And you would think Bianca Belair will be there too. You would think she would be maybe even a little higher than Rhea, because Bianca was doing her thing and being built when Rhea was still trying to figure herself out. They were still trying to figure out what they were going to do with Rhea. Bianca was, she held that belt for a year. She was everywhere. She was sort of like the female John Cena. Vince looked at Bianca and saw dollar signs. He looked at Rhea and didn't know what to do with her. So when you see Triple H, how he books the white guys or the white women versus the black women, it is very much a disconnect. I will say that. I feel like the same thing that he did with Ilya, he could have did that with Melo. Why is So Ruka, Zarya, they're coming to the main roster when you have Lash? You have, to me, Lash Legend fits in very perfectly with the women's division because, she's tall, she's athletic, she has a very good build, and she comes off very dominant. She can get in the mix with your Jade Cargills and your Nia Jaxes and your Rhea Ripleys and look like she belongs there. But, you have Obafemi, he's a star. Obafemi is a star. Trick Williams is a star. Why aren't these guys up? I do believe Trick Williams is about to make NXT history. I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes 3-time NXT champion. I just wouldn't be surprised if he does it, because he's still down there in NXT. And then look at your Braun Breakers, look at your Bronson Reeds, and Braun Breaker, to me, the same thing that Hunter is doing with Braun and Ilya and Bronson, he could be doing the same exact thing with Carmelo. He could be doing the same exact thing if he wanted to. I think Hunter has this thing where, like I say, it's a divide between Hunter and the black community. I'm just being honest. I'm not saying like we don't fool with him. And when I say divide, he doesn't know how to convey black talent to TV week by week to the world. He don't know how to do it. And I think that's why people are confusing that with him being racist. What he did to Booker T for sure was out of pocket, out of line. Even still to this day, he's yet to really own up to how that came off. You see, social media wasn't the giant that it is today. If somebody did that today, they would be in so much trouble. WWE would be in a PR nightmare, because y'all know social media, the internet wrestling community gonna get busy. They would have got their ass handed to them. Hunter was able to get away with a lot of the racial undertone things that he did, because the giant that it is today, social media did not exist really like that. And people really wasn't, doing what we do today, like, critiquing everything down to the last drop. So Hunter was able to get away with a lot of stuff. And I think he's starting to understand a lot of the things that he did used to get away with. You cannot do that today, sweetie. A lot of the things, and I think too, that's why he's having a hard time, because it's kind of a line that he's teetering on. You don't want to bury your black talent so much to where then it's starting to become obvious, not only just to us, but to everybody at that point. There is no top black guy in the company that's holding the company like they give the ball to Seth, like they give the ball to Cody. I have never seen that. And I know a lot of people say, well, they did it for Rocky. Rocky, it to me is half and half. I'm talking about straight nigga. I'm talking about straight African American, straight black man that they have given the ball to represent WWE. And I don't ever see them doing that. I'm just being honest, because you could have some people be like, well, it's not going to translate to everyone. But to some people, Cody don't translate to everyone. Cody is clean cut. That don't register with your thugging, your thugger type people. You know what I'm saying? Like Cody don't always translate. Seth Rollins, another one. How they give the ball to these white people. You've never seen them do that for a black talent. How they're doing Carmelo Hayes, I wouldn't be surprised if he stays on that mid card. Braun Breaker is well on his way to being in the main event scene already. Tiffany Stratton, well on her way, already there in the main event scene. They're building Tiffany Stratton. They're not building Lash. They're not building BFAB. They're not building these other women. And BFAB, to me, that girl can talk on the mic. I don't know if y'all peeped. BFAB can talk on the mic, but she's not being built. She's just there. So I wanted to make this quick little video just to kind of give you guys my opinion on it. As I stated, I don't think Triple H is racist. I think he just cannot he can't identify with his black audience, and that will continue to hurt him. I do think racism is real in WWE, but I don't think Triple H is at the helm of it. I just don't ever see them giving the ball to a bunch of black talent. It'll never be an all black dominant faction winning all of the titles and beating your Cody Rhodes and beating your white guys. I just don't see that. I don't ever see that happening, and it's kind of sad that we live in that time still, even to this day. A lot of black people watch WWE, but that's why we go so hard for certain people, because it's like, dang, y'all finally got people representing us. Your Tricks, your Mellows, your Lash, your Biancas, these people where you could say, I got a homegirl that's like Lash right now. I got a homie that's like Trick. You know what I mean? Like that shit feels good. Seeing representation of yourself on TV, because it make you feel like I could possibly do that one day. So y'all let me know down in the comments what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will check you guys later. 4 letters, 1 word. Yeet. I'm out.